there is a significant agreement across a wide spectrum of sectors in national defense that there's a great amount of change needed. And I think the sense of urgency is really growing around that need for change. We know we face something very different, and yet our organizations aren't changing fast enough.
Networks like DEF are critical for a couple reasons. National security is much bigger than just the Department of Defense. When I talk about national security, I look at things like our education system, our power grid, our borders. So all agencies in some capacity actually have a pretty critical role in national security itself.
Think about the 50s, 60s, and the 70s. DARPA and NASA and all of these government-funded organizations were pushing the boundary layer of innovation and tech emergence. We reached an inflection point where industry is pushing that. Small business is pushing that, and the government is just trying to play catch-up.
Our adversaries are moving very quickly at adopting and changing the technologies that we use. I think some of the recent conflicts have shown us what is possible. If we truly want to start operating differently in a sustained way, we need to look at every training system, every career path, education plan, and look at where in there did we build in so much risk intolerance and start retooling it.
When I think about the future of national security, I think one of the most important things we need to do is expand the aperture of who's in the arena and make sure that everyone feels a responsibility for shaping both the strategy and the narrative about how we engage.
Informal networks are essential to building the type of change that we want to see. How can you help mission-driven entrepreneurs create pathways in the private sector community while also serving national security interest and government? And it's really been networks of people who care deeply about this issue that come from those three different sectors: industry, government, and academia.
DEF can be a huge part of that. In its informal network of networks, I think it can become a safe space where we can talk about the idea not only of bottom-up innovation, but also the possibility of disruptive innovation, even when we're scared of change. The neat thing about DEF is it does touch all the sectors of defense, and it does give us an opportunity to make connections that we would not otherwise make.
It requires an enormous amount of personal will to make any kind of change in the large organizations. You need to have a network of people that are helping you understand what to do and how to do it, but most of all, powering you through the obstacles that you face.
Whatever the subject matter, there is somebody who is a legit expert in it, and you can get up to speed way quicker by just firing off a quick question to the community. It means never having to start from scratch. Being a member of DEF means you never have to go into battle alone. There's always somebody else in your foxhole.